Agents with just 47 days of training, sweeping through American cities, agents with barely over a month of training,
violently protesting, not protesting, but violently protesting undermines the morality that you say your cause is built upon. It's also dangerous. It's dangerous it's dangerous and it's stupid. It's 12-piece bucket of stupid.
What's up, Patriots? Welcome back to the channel. I just came across a clip that perfectly explains why so many Americans feel like Washington has turned into a three-ring circus. Today we're watching Senator John Kennedy, Mr. Plain English himself, absolutely shred the latest made-for-TV performance by Adam Schiff. You know the routine. Schiff steps up, puts on his very serious face, and starts spinning another dramatic tale about how the Trump years supposedly transformed America into some authoritarian nightmare. Same script, different day. Fear porn. Cheap shots at ICE. Border agents mocked as cosplayers. It's condescending, it's disconnected from reality, and frankly it's embarrassing. But then John Kennedy grabs the mic, and when the senator from Louisiana starts talking, things change fast. And no buzzwords, and no theatrics. Just raw common sense logic, the kind that makes elite DC insiders look like they've been living in a soundproof bubble for decades. This isn't just a rebuttal, it's a takedown. Schiff has no escape route, he's forced to sit there and absorb it. Let's watch the clip, and afterward, I'll break down exactly why Kennedy just delivered a masterclass in calling out nonsense. Roll it.
Administration have changed what it means to walk down the street in America. 374 days ago, an American citizen did not need to worry about carrying a passport or worry that they would be pinned to the ground for being unable to prove that their hometown was in fact the only home they have ever known. Agents with just 47 days of training, sweeping through American cities, agents with barely over a month of training, just 47 days. And why 47? Because it's a nod to the vanity of the 47th president, rather than allocated to the need to be instructed on how to, say, use or avoid using deadly force. Agents with less training than a teenager getting their driver's license are now badgering, beating, and even killing Americans on our streets in the name of the president, while his chosen enforcers smugly walk through American cities, cosplaying their favorite uniforms from the 1930s and 1940s. I yield back.
I recognize the senator from Louisiana.
We all have to concede. We all should concede that the loss of life in Minneapolis was a tragedy. And I'm sorry it happened. Number two, this is the second thing that I know. You don't have to be Einstein's cousin. You don't have to be a senior at Caltech to know that illegal immigration is illegal. Duh. It's illegal. And those of us who believe that no one is above the law, we all say we believe that. I believe it. No one, those of us who say that no one is above the law have to concede that people in our country illegally are not above the law either. The law applies to them as well. Our immigration statutes are not second-tier laws. They matter just as much as the other statutes that have been passed by the elected members of Congress. And just like the other laws, the immigration laws have consequences and should have consequences if you violate them. Third and final point. You have the right to protest in America. Let me say that again. You have the right to protest in America. You do not have the right to protest violently. And in fact, violence as you protest undermines the morality of the thing that you're protesting over. Let me say that again. Violence, if you choose violence when you protest, that undermines the morality of the movement that you say your movement is based upon. You know who else understood that? Dr. King. King understood it. Gandhi understood it. Mandela understood it. Violently protesting, not protesting, but violently protesting undermines the morality that you say your cause is built upon. It's also dangerous. It's dangerous. It's dangerous and it's stupid. It's 12 pieces, a 12-piece bucket of stupid. Because when you protest violently, when you interfere with a cop or an ICE officer, it's not going to end well. It's not. Under the best of circumstances, these officers are trying to enforce federal law. And the people with respect to whom they're trying to enforce federal law are in most cases, I'm not going to say all cases, but in most cases are criminals. Not criminals because they're here illegally, though that too is a violation of our law, but criminals because they have violated other laws, in many cases felonies. And those ICE officials, those cops are scared. They're scared. They're dealing with someone who could be armed, someone who could be dangerous. So you've got a powder keg. And when protesters choose to protest violently and harass those ICE officials and blow whistles in their ears and block their way and spit in their faces and curse them and curse their children, they're giving off sparks in a powder keg. And it's not going to end well in many cases. I'm sorry we're at this point. But I believe that our future can be better than our present, and certainly than our past.
Boom. There it is. A 12-piece bucket of stupid. Absolute classic. What we just witnessed, Patriots, was the collision between reality and political theater. Adam Schiff lives in a world of cable news panels and scripted outrage. John Kennedy lives in the real world where actions have consequences and words actually mean something. Schiff is up there rambling about uniforms and cosplay, as if border agents are playing dress-up instead of dealing with a crisis his party helped create. While the border is being overrun, he's critiquing outfits. That tells you everything you need to know about how seriously he takes the law. Kennedy cut through it instantly. Illegal immigration is illegal. Period. End of sentence. The fact that this even needs to be said in 2026 should tell you how upside down Washington has become. And Kennedy nailed the real issue, morality. You don't get to call yourself the party of compassion while cheering on mobs that torch cities, harass law enforcement, and intimidate federal agents' families. He invoked leaders like King, Gandhi, and Mandela, men who stood for discipline, peace, and moral authority. Then he contrasted that with today's radical activists screaming in ICE officers' faces and treating chaos like a virtue. That's not progress, that's recklessness. And now, surprise, surprise, the money trail is starting to surface. With Doge audits and Elon Musk pulling threads, we're finally seeing how taxpayer dollars flowed through NGOs like a political slush fund. While Schiff lectures America about training standards, billions were being shuffled behind the scenes. Here's the truth. John Kennedy wasn't ranting, he was saying out loud what millions of Americans feel. The people who work full-time, pay their taxes, follow the rules, and are sick of watching their money bankroll corruption while the border stays wide open. Schiff had no rebuttal and no facts and no defense. Just silence. We need more John Kennedys and a whole lot fewer Adam Schiffs if this country is ever going to get back on track. Now I want to hear from you. Was bucket of stupid the line of the year? And do you think Schiff and his crew are finally getting nervous now that the NGO money pipeline is being exposed? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button, Subscribe so you don't miss the next political showdown. Stay loud, stay proud. See you in the next one.